Hello, good evening. Welcome to Mi Gente on Air. It's been a while, but we're here in the Alpha Media Studios here at WSGW, and I'm so happy to be with you here tonight. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of a different hairstyle and showing a lot of forehead, a lot of my thinning hair, but that's okay because I am going to be celebrating a birthday in 2 days, and it's all good. And I want to invite everybody to come on into the show because as we move closer to Cinco de Mayo, which is in about roughly 2.5 weeks, um, we have to talk to some of our guests. And I just want to announce that next week we will be talking with Elida Reina, La Reina de la Valle, and she is going to be our guest. She's headlining the Cinco de Mayo at the Vault, as well as the Jolt Credit Union Event Center, along with other bands. One of them is going to be from Grand Rapids, and they are Ritmo de la Furia. And we also have Grupo Ilusión from Pontiac, Michigan. And that's who my guest is tonight. So I want to welcome Grupo Ilusión. We're going to be talking to him when we go into the show. But I just want everybody to, sit back, relax. And if you've got a question or concern, come on into the room and be with us tonight because, of course, Mi Gente on Air is also your show, My People on Air. And we're featuring Latino concerns, cultures, and contributions. So stay with me and don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Mi Gente on Air. Thank you for being with me here tonight. It's a beautiful April day where the weather was shining about 65 degrees, pure sunshine, and I just loved it. And I'm anticipating a wonderful warm summer, and I know everyone else is. Well, one of the first signs of summer coming in the warmer weather is, of course, Cinco de Mayo. And Saginaw always has a wonderful celebration, a parade, and the big fiesta downtown. We used to have it at Ojibwe Island, but now we're having it at the Jolt Credit Union Event Park. And it's just a lot easier, the logistics for us as an organization. The Unión Cívica Mexicana has presented the Cinco de Mayo for 45 years this year. And of course, we always have a big headliner, and that this year is going to be Elida Reina y Avante out of Texas, Edinburgh, Texas. And, she's considered the queen of the valley, and she has had several hits for several years, and she's her and her band have written original tunes and has just been, wonderful in terms of an artist that has been there for la gente, for la raza. But we also have local talent coming. And one of the groups that we have performing at the Vault, as well as the Jolt Credit Union Event Park, is going to be Grupo Ilusión. They've been jamming for many years, and we've had them for past Cinco de Mayos and for dances at the Unión Cívica Mexicana. And my guest tonight is none other than the lead singer who heads up the band, the leader of the band, Tomas Salazar. I call him Tommy. Welcome to the show, Tommy Salazar from Pontiac, Michigan.
How's it going?
How are you?
Not too bad. Enjoying this beautiful day as well.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? We're finally getting into that warm weather. And I want to say, Tommy, I hope you're getting ready for the big celebration. Are you excited?
Oh yeah. It's always it's like the coming of the season for a lot of musicos that once Cinco de Mayo hits, it's on, baby, for the at least in the Midwest. We got limited time. The winter time is it's cold and it's sometimes troublesome to travel. So yeah, Cinco de Mayo is always a fun time around these areas in the Midwest.
Well, as you can see, we've got the poster behind with Elida, and you guys are on there as well this year. And we haven't had you for our Cinco de Mayo celebration for a couple of years, but we always have to try to give other bands a chance or whatever. But I said this year, Tommy is going to be out there on the center stage because I know how much you like Elida and Ivante. Can you tell me about that and what you have seen in terms of her performance in the past? Because I know you saw her in Texas recently, didn't you?
I have seen her in Texas. Also before COVID, um, we actually opened up for her in Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, she puts on a great show.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, she's down to earth as a person. We got to talk with her for a little bit. My son, my wife, and we all, and not just that, she has great music. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice to perform next to her on stage, and yeah, it's always fun to mix it up with the bands from Texas.
Yeah, she's one of us, definitely, definitely. It's really something I have seen you grow through the years. Believe it or not, I remember you very, very young, probably about 25 years ago. Mi Gente wasn't too old of a magazine. Now we're going to be celebrating 30 years, believe it or not. So I remember you very young, and I see you today, and you've come quite a ways. Tell me about the evolution of you as a musician and how you and your family got involved with music.
Well, it started with my Wello. Um, on my dad's side, I do have musicians on both sides. My dad actually met my mom on the Babalo boat playing with my Theo Charlie. Back then, they had the orchestra. They were playing, with the horns, brass. So that's how my dad met my mom. If it wasn't for that, there would be no us. But so my abuelo and on both sides, everyone we have a very musical family on both sides of my family. So yeah, growing up as a kid, I was always around. I got to go to different places, watch my dad play, watch him practice. Sometimes, they would go and they would practice at our house, or we would go with him if they were practicing somewhere else. And then we got to experience a lot of the live shows. So at an early age, I knew I was like, man, I gotta play. I want to play, and I was playing drums. So yeah, on my dad's side. My Tío Beto, my Tia Patty, my Tío Ruben. My Tia Patty and my Tío Ruben have passed away. My Tío Beto still plays. He has a band. Um,
But wait a minute. Tell me about your Tia Patty because I kind of remember her and her band. What was it called?
Patricia y Cariño Musical.
Yes, yes. And in the 80s and 90s, she was really rocking it, wasn't she?
Oh yeah, she was putting on a show, man. I mean, their band, they would come in, they'd have the sparkles, the outfits, the moves, and I got to see that at an early age. With my dad playing in the band. It was a family band. My Wello, obviously, before I was even born, they were doing it, and then so they played a lot. So we were just pretty much born into the music. And like I said, it came from both sides. One thing our family never had was an accordion player. My cousin Mando Louis Villarreal, he played accordion, and that was you're talking 70s, maybe through the 80s. He's passed away as well. But one thing that we could never find an accordion player, and that's why I started. That's why I learned how to play. I'm still learned. I'm getting gooder.
So when you actually are singing and you are the lead singer of Grupo Ilusión, when you hit those high notes, you're kind of mimicking your Tia Patty, huh?
I tell you what, I've talked with other musicos around the state, and to the point, some guys, they would say, oh, they called my dad Chicho back in the day. His name is Juan. But they would say that's Chicho's son, and some musicos, I don't want to say old timers because I feel like I'm getting up there in age, but I would talk to different musicos, and they would say, back in the day, Familia Salazar, they were, a lot of bands wanted to be like what they were doing, and no one was doing those kind of things in these areas as far as dancing, putting on shows, and it wasn't just about the music. It was entertaining. It wasn't, because there was bands out there that play and they're great, but then you have the entertainment part of it, and that's one thing that I hold dearly, is the entertainment part of the business, because anyone can play music, and you can't be taught how to entertain or interact with the crowd. That has to come from right here, you know.
Yeah.
And I got to see it firsthand.
Well, I know that you're gonna anticipate, putting on a great show for us at the Jolt Credit Union Event Park. That's the poster in the back. Grupo Ilusion is going to be one of the performers on the stage at the Jolt Credit Union, but they're also going to be playing and opening up for Elida at the actual Vault concert, the after party, and that's going to be kind of trying to show your picture there, and that's gonna be
Yeah,
kind of that's gonna be
there it
exciting.
is.
There it is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really exciting for you because, Elida y Ivante, Elida Reina y Ivante, they're a major player in the Tejano genre, and she's a Latin Grammy artist, and they have been producing music and playing it for, 30 plus years, and they're at the top tier in terms of entertainment.
Oh
And
yeah.
so you guys are going to be opening up Tommy Salazar from Pontiac, Michigan, along with Grupo Ilusion. That's an incredible feat. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I know when they come, they're coming to put on a show. They're you're gonna get a show. You're gonna get the whole. That's what they do. I mean, they're every one of Lalo, her husband, the drummer. I watched him. He's great. The band. I mean, they're coming to entertain. Like I said, they're gonna entertain you and they're gonna wow you and then leave you wanting more. It's exciting to share the stage with her. Like I said, I we played with her before COVID, and I think the next night she won a Latin Grammy
Wow.
the night after. So we were all rooting for her, and as we should, and we were rooting for our gender, to keep things going, and she definitely, did her
Yeah,
thing, and she deserved it.
she's
She
been at the
well deserved.
forefront. Yeah, she's been at
Yeah.
the forefront in terms of keeping that music fresh and alive. And they have original tunes.
Yes.
So that speaks volumes to who she has been as an artist. And it's exciting for me as well, anticipating her performance because she is one of my favorite artists. And she hasn't been in the area since 20, well, at least in the Saginaw area, I should say, because I know she's been down in Toledo, but she hasn't been here in the Saginaw area since New Year's when we brought her in 2010. Can you believe that? So that's almost 15 years, and that's a long time, a long period. So I hope that the community really comes out, especially for the Vault after party, because it's such a great stage, a great entertainment venue. And the tickets are on sale now over at the Vargas Tortillas, as well as TNT Authentic Mexican Restaurant. And there are VIP tickets available. And I would suggest if anybody really wants some good seating and all, to get over there and buy their tickets as soon as possible. So tell me a little bit more about Grupo Ilusion, Tommy. How do you feel about it when you come to Saginaw?
Saginaw's fun. It's always been fun. I think when I first started, I was a drummer, and it was, I don't know, like 1995. I was 15. Funny story. I don't know if you remember On Stage.
Yes, I do. Down
Okay,
over on
so
the river.
yes, and then there was um, was it the Doyle's parents? They had the club,
Yep. Oh my gosh, the Q Club.
Q Club. See, I was so there was the Q Club. There was On Stage, and I think too is I cannot remember, but those were places we would go. And one of my most memorable stories, and this is funny because I was 15, I was young, I was the young guy in the band, and one of the first times we played out there, I remember Champ and Rolly, they were there, and they weren't that we were just setting up, and they said, hey. Can we come in with you guys? I said, yeah, just help us carry some of this stuff in. Because, I mean, we're all the same age. So it was Rolando Lopez, rest in peace, and then Champ, my compadre. That guy's bad on the court. He's man, whew. So they would come in, we started playing on stage, and I knew right away, I'm like, man, Saginaw's, that's the people are partying out here and they're dancing, they're showing up ready to go. So fast forward some years, then we would go to other venues out there. Then La Union Civica. We played there. We played at a lot of the venues. But I mean, the gente out there, it's, they're out there. They're ready to go. They love their Tejano conjunto music. They love it, and they're gonna support. They always do. I mean, no matter what, they're coming out. You could have 5 dances in Saginaw, and they're all gonna get packed. That's something, man. That's Saginaw.
Hmm. And how does it feel that, like when you do play at the Civica? Because last summer we had a great time with a number of different bands. I think we had 5 bands that night on a Tejano showcase at the Union Civica, and you guys were one of the artists performing. How did you see that when going into it?
I knew it was gonna be fun. I knew the Raza was gonna come out and support. Um, you know, Times change. They really do. It's not the same or it's not gonna be like Texas where you can go see 10 bands for $5. They have, we have I think 60,000 Latinos, Mexicans overall, something like that. I remember looking up the geographic. So that's where we're at. In Texas, you're talking, over 10 million Mexicanos. Okay,
Yeah, big difference.
so big difference. And so sometimes, with that being said, some people say, well, yeah, we can go see this, all these bands for this price. Yes, I get it, but it's not the same up here. And it's not that they don't support. It's just sometimes that in order for things to go, you have to go with the times musically. Um, I hate to say financially, if you want to come out and see some great entertainment, it's not going to be $5, $10. Sometimes you have to pay if you go to the Palace of Auburn Hill, I'm sorry, not the Palace, it's not there no more. Little Caesars Arena or Ford Field, you're going to pay, let's say basketball game, $50, $100 for a good seat. You go to a football game, it's 100 some dollars, and you're not even right there on the field. So to pay like let's say 20, $30, that's really not, that's nothing,
Yeah,
you
just
know.
I mean, ask some of those who attended the recent Bad Bunny concert over at Little Caesars how much they paid.
Exactly. Yes. My family, they're going to see Peso Pluma.
Hmm.
And they asked me, "You want to go?" And I said, "Well, yeah, maybe. Uh, I don't know." And I end up taking a booking for the same day. But I know all I know is I 180 something dollars came out of my wallet per ticket.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, if you have to go out there, Rasa, and the bands, don't complain over $20. I mean, 20, $30, $40, that's nothing. I mean, show the love just like you would if you're going to McDonald's and spending, some people spend that daily on eating out. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's my personal opinion. I mean, it's doesn't mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But times change, and just like if you go out and you get some sirloin top steak, it's gonna be, some packages are $30 just for a package like this.
yeah.
You're
Well,
gonna get it because you gotta eat.
I put out on Facebook, on my Facebook, on the Union Civica's account today, that we wanted to be transparent in regards to some of our costs for Cinco de Mayo. And one of them was today we had to pay the city of Saginaw $4,500 for our
Oh,
parade. That was just for our parade. That doesn't include the Jolt Credit Union Event Center or anything. This is just for the parade, for the security guards, the police officers, the escorts, the putting up of the blockades on the streets, and so it's not cheap, and we've gotten hit with the inflation of that because last year I would say was about $1,000 less. 2019, about 1,500 less. So I mean, it's across the board in terms of cost for everything, and so
yes,
I hope people come out and support it and get actually in the parade, because we have one of the best Cinco de Mayo parades around, if not the best in the state of Michigan. And I think that it really showcases our culture and heritage. And the great feeling that I had like last year, because I was covering it for WSGW on the parade route, And I just saw, just a joyful attitude with everybody out there that was attending. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining and everybody was just excited. And you had all walks. It wasn't just Latinos. And we are inviting everybody. This isn't just a Latino festival, although that's the theme, and we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, but it's actually a Saginaw event that we can be very proud of as thousands come to downtown Saginaw and on the parade route. So please, everybody, come on out. And we're talking with Tommy Salazar. He's from Pontiac. He's with Grupo Ilusión. And Tommy, I want to ask you, because last year you did put on that showcase in that event. And it's nice to see that you were working with these different musicians, and it was nice to hear all that local Michigan talent. What made you come up with that idea?
Man, I think that like I said, times change. We've been to Texas several. I mean, since I was a kid with my parents, and then as I became a father and had my own family, I wanted my kids to experience the same thing. So being out there and seeing it and seeing, okay, you got all these bands. That I said, that's that's something Michigan needs. That's got to happen more often. Um, certain, nightclubs, festivals. It's nice to have a variety of music. Because I mean, you can have some events you can have all the same style of Tejano, but when you have an event and you have a little bit of something for everybody, you know, um, I wanted to have an event like the way I cook out. I'm gonna cook like 10 different meats. Everybody's gonna say, man, because I mean, sometimes we cook out at my house for like 20 people, and this goes on. This is a weekly occurrence. My
Yeah.
sons and all their friends, and so I wanted to do something like that. And I mean, I have a lot of ideas, and obviously, I won't play music all my life, and I definitely want to still have my stamp, put my stamp, my foot, keep things going, and al- also make things better for musicians. One of my main things is, uh, and I always say it, I don't want to sound, you know, don't be afraid to charge. I mean, if people they want to go on vacation, they want to do this, they want to do that, they're gonna pay. So one of the things is I wanted to have these type of events. And obviously, I mean, still give people a great deal, but like I said, it's just a little tough. I mean, but that's why I wanted to do something like that, something different, and also something for the people, because without the people, uh any of us, I mean, without the people and the good man upstairs, none of us are nothing. That's what
Right,
it
right.
boils down to. So
Well, the thing is that, even for this Cinco de Mayo event, we have you from Pontiac, like I said, Tejano, and then we've got El Ritmo de Furio from Grand Rapids. They're more high energy Mexican regional. And then we've got, Elida, who is the queen of the valley. Um, those are three different bands that
yes,
are not all the same sound. So we're bringing in, three different crowds, hopefully, and that makes it really nice for the whole festival in general and anybody who attends it.
yep,
And one of the musicians that is going to be playing with Eli de Reina, and he's from Michigan, is Matt Maya, and he left a message on here. And I just want to read it real quick. He says, Tomas Salazar, yes, times change, music changes, venues change, but what doesn't change is the love and support the Midwest has for Tejano music, whether it's local artists, groups, or those from Tejas. So, I mean, that's a
that's
nice,
right.
nice quote.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Matt. And that's so true. I want to make mention that I think that in the Midwest and in particularly in Michigan, there are a lot of great bands, musicians. I've seen them through the years, families, legacies. Like you mentioned, you're the Salazar, La Familia Salazar. There are a number of different ones, whether it's the Garcias or some of the ones from Lansing area.
I
There,
mean, you can go down the list. You go to
mhm.
Lansing. You got the Vasquez familia. You got the Herreras. You go out this
Right.
way, you got the Moya Familia, you got, I mean, it's all around. I mean, Toledo, I mean, just the talent it's here. I
Right.
mean,
I
that's
want to say though to my audience that may not be Hispanic though that may be listening because I do have on the Sunday broadcast of this show. One of the things I want them to know is that there are talented musicians from this area that are playing in high talented groups down in Texas, and Matt Maya is one of them, playing with Elida Reina and Ivante. But there are a number of different ones that we hear
yeah.
about. Even Champ Garcia played, down there with La Voz. Um, I can't even think of his name right now.
Jay Perez.
Yeah, Jay Perez, and I
I
mean
think
that
they were they got nominated for a Grammy, and I know there was a lot of musicos that had their foot in the door on that. I
from the
mean,
Midwest, yes,
yeah,
and from Saginaw Tides and
yes.
stuff. So yeah, I mean it's wonderful to see that there's that contribution of Latinos from the Midwest that are performing at that level as well as locally, month after month here in the Midwest, in Michigan particularly. And we love when we have them at the Unión Cívica Mexicana. We're going to talk more with Tommy Salazar when we come back from break, and we're going to talk more about his upcoming performance with the Cinco de Mayo.
You're listening to Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
I love that music. So yeah, I want to really promote this dance here. This is gonna, if you haven't been to the Vault recently, they have upgraded that entertainment venue. They got some really nice VIP seating that's going on now. And it just got one of the best stages that I have seen, and I'm really big on the lighting, and I know that one of my cousins actually is one of the lighting man over there, and they do a really nice job with any entertainment. They have to, because a lot of what the entertainment that goes there is high energy cover groups, and other entertainers like Elida Reina, who's going to be here. We've had Michael Salgado there. We had Stephanie Montiel, Eddie Gonzalez. I mean, we've just had some really top-notch entertainment in the Tejano genre. And so I just want to, I want to tell our raza out there, this is a chance to see a major performing, a Latin Grammy artist who has given so much of her life in entertainment, and just wonderful, wonderful music. If you know her music, it's just been really wonderful, great. So we're going to go back into the show, but I just want everybody, if you got a question or you want to make a comment to Tommy Salazar, I call him Tommy, Tomas Salazar from Grupo Ilusión. They have been in our area for many dances. They opened up for Michael Salgado for Cinco de Mayo in 2009. They played also with Emilio Ibarra
No, Emilio Navaira.
in the Adelante Awards in 2012. Emilio Navara, I can't even say his name right. I was saying Ibarra, and it's
Navaira.
Navaira, yes. And so, they've been around, and Tommy and I have had a great friendship for many years. And he was just like a young whippersnapper, I remember, and he was over there jamming over at the club in Bridgeport. Do you remember that?
Was that pin sitters? Yeah, yeah.
Not Pin Setters,
Which one?
the one in Saginaw.
Oh no, you had okay, you had players.
Players, yeah.
Players.
And which is, I saw a post today where Val was selling selling Players, the nightclub, after all these years. But they had some really nice entertainment in those days back in the 2010s, I think it was, when we would all go out there every weekend. So, but let's go back to the show. We're this should be part of the show, and we're talking about it over here. So, but if you got a comment or question, feel free to put it in, and we can bring it into the show and make those comments.
Save me a couple of those copies of Mi Gente.
You're listening to Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for being with us here on Mi Gente on Air. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and it's just a real pleasure to be able to be at the table and bring forth a show like Mi Gente on Air where we showcase some of our Michigan talent like Tomas Salazar out of Pontiac with Grupo Ilusión. They are a band that's going to be performing at the annual Cinco de Mayo celebration. 45 years we've been doing this. And I remember back in 1980 when it started. And I, at that time, was very young and I couldn't ever imagine that 45 years later that we would still be celebrating it in close to 50 years. And so it's just really wonderful to be able to be a part of it as we have been. And so, Tommy, I want to know, like, when you're looking to perform in this type of event, what do you how do you get ready for this type of event? What is it that you're doing 2 weeks prior to the Cinco de Mayo?
We're eating a lot of tacos, patitos.
Yeah,
We're drinking tequila. Joking. We're obviously we are rehearsing. Um, and I think we're scheduled to rehearse this week. So I mean, we're putting in some time. I mean, definitely the excitement of the show. There's no feeling like being on the stage. So you gotta you put in the work. Um, but man, no. I mean, that's like I said once again, the tacos.
yeah.
We do a lot of game planning. Obviously, you know uh, some things you got to be able to read the crowd. So sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get. You get there and sometimes they're dancing to rancheras. Sometimes they want cumbias, wapangos. Not so much. I mean, like boleros and things like that at the festival because it's an upbeat, upscale type event. So one of the things are we're throwing out ideas of what we want to do, how we want to, you know, go about what we're doing, and then sometimes you can put the best game plan together, and you get there and the crowd's not reacting, so you have to be able to read that crowd and know, okay, hey, listen, let's do this. Hey, right right on the sly. You have to really be able to read the crowd.
I noticed that a lot of the younger crowd, they do like the wapangos and the faster music, and so, that's when we have the dances at the Civic and some of the bands they come in, I think I do notice how they kind of like read the crowd, and by the end of the night, they're playing the wapangos and the faster music because it's the younger crowd that sticks around. And so, I think that's, part of what we will be able to uh, witness with El Ritmo de Furio, because Furia or Furia, I can't even remember.
But
But
yeah, and that's
yeah.
Luis Calderon and
Now,
the guys.
now you played with them, right? You played with them over at.
Actually, no. Me and Luis, we met some years back, and we did we were playing in theaters, and it was they were doing like Latin theme type. It was they were showcasing different types of music, all genders of Latin America or whatnot, and so that's how we met. And that was a lot of fun. But that's how I met Luis, and then I met some other guys that some salsa guys, mariachis. Everybody was a part of that, and we got to travel and do that. And that was just it was different, but it was fun, and it was
Yeah.
in theaters. So that's how I met Luis, and then we just kept in touch over the years, and then other things would come up, and that's how.
And look at here, you're going to be performing on the same stage in Saginaw with
Yes,
them,
yes.
as well as Eli de Reina and Ivante. But listen, I wanna bring on some of these comments because we got a number of different comments in the room here, and one of them is another musician from Saginaw. He is a great musician playing accordion. And it's Andrew Cardenas, and he says one thing I miss about Saginaw was the Cinco de Mayo parade and celebration. Jam out, Tommy. And so
Right
that's
on.
really
It's
cool.
Andrew.
But that's really something because he was one of these kids back in the day when we used to have this show called Canta Conmigo. And Andrew in that class of I think it was like 1998, he graduated from Arthur Hill, I believe. I never would have thought that he would grow up and become a musician. And he plays with, I think, Patty Torres.
Yep, Patsy
Right?
Torres. Yep,
Yeah, Patsy Torres. And so, like, I mean, that's a great accomplishment. We
right
also
on.
have Vanessa Salazar. She says, "Hi, Angela Blanco. Our son will be performing with Grupo Ilusión that night, but not with his band. What is it, Tommy?
Sensi Ocho, that's my son's band.
Oh, okay. But we're hoping they can all jam that night. So that's really cool. Angela Blanco, she's referring to the question by Angela Blanco. She says, "Hi, Tommy. Looking forward to seeing you all perform in May. Question I've seen on your this is your mother-in-law's page, Marciela Martinez. She calls me Mr. Posoli man. She says that that the very talented young men are performing with Illusion, and that's what she's talking about in regards to the legacy. You know, you and your dad have a legacy, and you, like you mentioned it earlier in the show, in the family, and now your boys are also playing. Tell us about that, and how does that make you feel?
Oh man, I've always been a proud father. Growing up, I was a little, wild knucklehead. I was always, wanting to party. But from the first day I had my first son Tomas, that changed my life. And then it followed up with my son Alexander, who has his band. Tomas is the one who blessed me with grandkids. I have a granddaughter, grandson, and oh man, I might get teary eyed thinking about them. Oh my goodness. And then my youngest son, Noah. They're
Don't
all
cry,
musicals.
don't cry, Tommy.
No, no, no. They're all my boys play. I never forced it on them, but I always made sure it was available and they had access to whatever it was. Whether I had, I mean, keyboards, drums, bass, guitar, bajo sesto, microphones, accordions. I made sure that they know their culture and to be proud of who they are as young men. So yeah, yeah, I'm very proud of my boys, and that's something that I always say one thing that some people may not like me, some people may have something bad to say, or some people might love me, but one thing no one can ever do is take away that I raised my boys, and I have three wonderful sons that I love, and a beautiful family that God's blessed me with, and I'm forever thankful for all of that. Because sometimes I think what I don't deserve all I have, all the blessings. No matter the ups and downs in life, I have too many blessings to ever feel down. So I always try to stay upbeat, but I always make sure for my boys to know, to be proud of who they are, and to know their culture, and to be good men.
Nicely said. Nicely said. Tommy, I want to ask you, Saginaw is a town that's very similar to Pontiac. At least it was at one time, I think, probably more so in the 90s. And then there was a huge influx of immigrants that came to the Pontiac area and that are still there now and still coming. How do you see, from your perspective as a Pontiac native? I think you're living now in Waterford. How do you
I
see?
am borderline, but
Yeah.
Pontiac's always been home.
How do you see the two cities, the tale of two cities, Pontiac, Michigan, and Saginaw, Michigan?
So Pontiac used to be a lot like Saginaw. Same thing. Everybody migrated. You had the shops, GM, Pontiac Fiero. Back in the day, all my family on my mom's side, they worked in the GM, area, and that's where my grandparents migrated. They came up here and they worked, GM, Pontiac Fiero, my aunts and uncles, tias, everybody. My dad's side, they were Ford Motor Company, which is Detroit area. With that being said, Pontiac had the Loma, which
Yes,
is a lot like the Civica. So it
the
was always
Lomelita.
exciting. Yes, yes, it was always exciting to go to those events. Like I said, I got to experience a lot of things that I mean, lifestyle and the things that I've been around, and musically. I mean, some people don't will never experience that in 10 lifetimes. So I mean, I have a lot of different things and memories, beautiful memories, but they had the Loma. So it's a lot like Saginaw and the Civica. The Civica, and I think I told you this years ago. I always told you, man, I love the Civica. It feels like home. So whenever I would go out there, I always show my love and shout out to the Civica crew.
Yeah,
But there's similarities. A lot of people like me, my age, they have the grandparents, the tios, the tias that might, that came, their grandparents before everyone else, and they migrated here to work. So there are similarities, and as of right now, Saginaw is number one as far as not, Pontiac isn't having the events like they used to, like they had at the Phoenix Center. So Saginaw's got it going on, and but Pontiac is home, and I love it. Detroit.
Well, recently I was in Pontiac, and there was all kinds of food trucks just right there on, I think it's on Baldwin, as well as Joslin. I think that's a street. Tommy, are you there? I think we lost Tommy for a minute. But Pontiac is very similar, like I say, to Saginaw. And it had been for many years, and I think the food truck business has really been at the forefront these days. Just like even down in Detroit, if you go to Southwest Detroit, there is a number of food trucks that have taken the
Sorry
area.
about that.
Yeah,
Someone called my phone, and
and
I
so
didn't I missed the
yep,
segment.
yep. And so Pontiac, it actually is, leading in as far as food trucks and the Mexican foods. That I can say that because I've been to some of the restaurants down there. I think there's more of an authenticity of Mexican from Mexico food because of the influx of immigrants, whereas Saginaw is more like a Tex-Mex type, more in their culinary area of foods. And so, I mean, we have that going on, and you're right. The Lomelita was a beautiful club. I remember going there. In fact, we took the Jennifer Pena when she was very young, 14 years old, believe it or not, to the Lomalita. She played it there in Saginaw, and then in Pontiac, and I think another venue. And here she's making a great comeback, as we speak. Jennifer Pena, the Princesa de Tejano, they call her. So that's really wonderful to see that as well. But I love Pontiac because I had an uncle, my uncle Rafael Diaz. He was a barber in the mall for many, many years. He's passed now, but my aunt is still there, and she's 94. Her name is Connie Diaz. And so I
Yeah,
do have that connection to there in to the Pontiac area. So, but I remember those big festivals at the Phoenix Center
yeah,
in
yeah.
downtown Pontiac, and man, those were huge. And I would hope to see that something is coming that way for Pontiac again in the future. But as you say, Saginaw's got it going on, and we're trying. We got a lot of things happening in Saginaw, and that's wonderful to see. I do want to mention, though, also that on May the 5th at the Soaring Eagle Casino, in the Gratias, they have a venue called Ascend there in the casino. They're going to be having Grupo Deseo. They're going to be playing for Cinco de Mayo on the Sunday after our event. So it's going to be May 5th, actual Cinco de Mayo. And I know that they'll do a great job. Mark Najar from Saginaw as well, another Saginaw connection. They'll do a good job at the actual casino at the Soaring Eagle. So there's a lot happening, a lot coming up, and I'm sure this is just a foretelling of what's going to come in the future as well. And as you can see there, May 5th from 2 to 6 p.m. is Cinco de Mayo at the Ascent at the Soaring Eagle Casino. And we have to help and promote that because the Soaring Eagle has been wonderful to us. They've been a big sponsor to the Cinco de Mayo of Saginaw for many years. And, so I'm happy to always promote what they're doing as well. And I want my producer, Mr. Matt Lester, here to show some of these pictures of Tommy and his group that Tommy sent me today, because this is Tommy and his dad and his brother and his son. So you've got 4 Salazar men there in this picture, and that's what's been on the posters. But Tommy's got the shades on like his dad, and this is a picture of them when they were performing. I don't know where that was, at the casino in, I want to say, Battle Creek, maybe Firekeepers. I'm not sure. I don't know. Can you see that, Tommy? Tommy? Well, I'm pretty sure that's where it is. We lost Tommy again, but let's see the next picture, because it was really a nice event that they've played at, and I'm not sure where that one is, but I like the color and I like the decor. Tommy, can you see those pictures?
Yeah, yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. But where was this one at?
That was in Illinois.
Wow, so you're playing throughout the Midwest, not just Michigan. You're playing Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, and
Indiana, yeah, all
mhm.
over actually. I mean, we we definitely we get we get around. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's
So
awesome because it's nice to see, like I said, I've known Tommy a long time, but it's nice to see you evolve. And there was a time at one point where you were performing as just the accordion player, and Pete the Heat was part of your group, and he left the group, and then you had to take on the vocals.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, I wow, that was that was a different time. I mean, Pete went, um, Pete was blessed with, you know, his wife and a family, and he wanted to be a family man, and you know, God blessed him, and um, he, you know, wanted, you know, to step back, and so when that happened, I was kind of thrusted. You know, I'm like, you know what? I did the same thing with accordion. All right. I played the drums. We need an accordion player. I'm gonna learn the accordion. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try. So I learned the accordion. But then that happened with Pete, and then I just started. You know, I mean, I literally sang myself into shape, and when I first started, it wasn't the best. But I always joked with Pete, and I because I would do a lot of the writing, and I would say, "Man, you better hope I don't ever learn how to sing, because you'll be out of a job." And then, you know, like I said, just some things happen, mysterious ways, and that's where I landed, and I started singing. So
And
yeah,
you've
that
done a
was
great job. You've done a great job. Tommy,
appreciate it.
you're do you have any light source? Because you're going dark there. I
Yeah,
don't know
I'll
if
turn on the
you
light. Give me a sec.
boy, for him being an entertainer, he should know these things. And I could say that because he's my friend. But that's one of the things that I have noticed as when some of the bands they come to the Union Civica Mexicana, they don't have what I would feel is I can't even say the word lighting that the lighting source that they have sometimes is lacking, and I want to see more lighting. So we're going to try to invest in some lighting for the stage for the Union Civica, so that when those bands are out there, adequate was the word I'm trying to say. Um, when the bands do perform out there, that they're going to be in the light. And I know some of them may not like that; they want to be in the dark, but I think it's very more entertaining when they're in the light, and I'm showcasing them as a band. So we got Kimberly Garza on here. She says great group, Grupo Ilusión, always bringing the people out to the dance floor with their good jams. See you guys soon. And we also have Chuch Casares. He says hey, and he's got hashtag Ford, so he's talking about what you're talking about, your family working over there at Ford, and that was your
Right on.
dad. We have Bertha Davila. Everybody know Berta. She is really instrumental in Saginaw to the community, and she says hola. And Andrew Cardenas is saying it takes me back, talking about Club D in the house. Val Blanco made that comment about Andrew Cardenas. So, it's really nice to see these connections that we have as a gente, as people, um, whether it's back in the Club D days in 1998 or whether it is, today as we're heading into, a major concert with Elida Yvante. I love her song Domingo. That's always been one of my favorites. And of course, I know my good friend Honda Vargas. She's the head honcho, one of the head honchos over there at the Vargas and San Tortillas. She loves Duele, and she will probably be out there drinking hand with her daughter Christy, and they're going to be like singing at the top of their lungs, like women from Tejas, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Don't tell Honda I said all that though, because she may not give me the discounts at the Vargas Tortillas.
Hey,
But
hey, hey,
anyways,
don't hold me against that. I still want the discount.
so Tommy, what would you want to say to the Saginaw audience out there that may be listening to you tonight in terms of your upcoming performance?
I just want to say thanks for all the support for all these years. I mean, no matter what lineup we've had in our band, every lineup we've had, as far as musicians goes, they've always been top tier. And Saginaw's always showed the love. And nothing's changed. When we come to play for the Cinco de Mayo Festival, We're coming to entertain you, wow you, make you want more, and we're coming to party. It's a celebration, and we're very, very grateful for Larry, mi gente, the Civica crew, everybody for doing what they do because they do put on for the city and not just the city but the state. So come out. You guys are gonna see a big party and you're gonna see a celebration like no other. So yeah,
Oh, thank you for that comment. I want to mention that Michael Ibarra is on here as well, and he says, "What up, Tommy?" Uh,
Mike, what's up, brother?
he says, "Hope you all have a great gig from Ivan and myself." And I just want to mention Ivan y Fuego. They performed with Michael Salgado when we had him at the Vault. They were the opening band, and they did a wonderful job. They really got the crowd moving out there, and it was really nice to see because that was our first time out of COVID where we actually utilized the Vault Entertainment venue with that stage because it was formerly the Florence Hall, and it wasn't set up that way with a big stage and lighting for these bands, this production, And so it was really nice to come out of COVID, have a big name entertainer like Michael Salgado, and Ivani Fuego was there with Mike Ibarra, and I think we had another band too. It was one from Texas, and I can't Texas Latino or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Texas
Yeah,
Latino.
but it was really a nice dance in concert, and even last year's with Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez. Man, that was fun. That was just a lot of fun. And the nice thing about the venue at the Vault is that the stage isn't that far from the people. You're right sitting there. Every seat in the house is good, and it's a two-layer venue, and it's just nice to be able to be that close to these entertainers. These
Yes.
Tejano royalty is what I like to say. And I just want to mention again that next week here on Mi Gente on Air, we're going to have Eli de Reina speaking with us, and I'm looking forward to that. I consider her a friend because back in 2010 we brought her to Saginaw, and we had a great time with her and Lalo, and we partied with them afterwards. And after the New Year's, it was New Year's Eve, and we brought in the New Year 2011, believe it or not, and time has just flown. So any last words, Tommy? We got 2 minutes and we're going out. This show just went really fast. I don't even know where time.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, brother.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like I said, we're excited. I just wanna let me give a shout out to my family, man. While I'm on the air, family, what's up? Familia Villarreal, that's my family, and Familia Salazar. All my friends, all the musicos in the Midwest. Keep doing what you're doing. You guys are all phenomenal. And you guys, without you guys, there would be no music up here. So all the musicos, the gente, the people, the raza, everybody, man. Just let's just keep doing it, man. Every day, you know, it's something different, but guess what? We keep going, and we will see you guys. And a special shout out to my beautiful wife. I see she commented, and everybody. Larry, thank you for having me on the show, man. It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to you, and yeah, man. We're looking forward to it, and we'll see you Cinco de Mayo. Believe that.
All right. All right. There's also a comment. David Rodriguez Jr. Do you know where he's from?
Is he from
Is he
Toledo or
from
Lansing
Lansing? I think
or
Lansing.
Adrian?
I don't know. He says, "Hello, fellas. Hope all is well. Puro party. Have a great show." And it's nice to be seeing these other fellow musicians
Yes.
on here supporting you and this gig coming up. And I love seeing that. It's similar to the food truck business as well. We try to support each other. So um, it's wonderful to have that unity when it is there. So
Yes.
spread peace, spread love, not hate.
Yeah.
That's my new motto going into 2024. But thank you
That's right.
everybody for tuning in to another edition of Mi Gente on Air, where we talk Latino culture, contributions, and concerns. We'll see you next week. Hasta luego.
Órale, Larry.
So there you have it. We're back in the live stream. That was a great show. It went really fast with Tommy Salazar. Tommy, we've also got Joey Herrera, who's also from Lansing in a musician family. Again, that's really nice. You've got Pontiac, Lansing. You've got different people down, musicians down in Texas, Andrew Cardenas, Matt Maya. I mean, that's awesome. That is awesome that they tune in and
Yes.
that they're supportive of you and what you're doing as well. Because, you know, like you said, you talked about it there at the end where you talked about how these musicians are at the forefront of making it happen for La Onda Tejana, you know, in our area in Michigan. And what would we have if we didn't have you guys, you know, playing those music at the dances? Because it's not the same. If you are just listening to a DJ as opposed to a live band, it's just not the same. And the vibe is totally different. So what do you have to say about that unification that I'm seeing here tonight with you musicians?
I just, man, you know what, man, I really, every chance I get, man, I support all the bands, all the musicals, and their styles. Everybody's different. If we were all the same, then we'd all be the same. You know, everybody's different, and I really just, you know, kudos to all the bands doing their thing up here. I mean, um, and to the raza that shows up and supports. You know, my dad always said whether there's 20 people or 2,000 people or 20,000 people, you put on a show. Now I can't say I always took his advice because sometimes I get a little wild, but you always want to put on the best you can for whoever, because you know people are gonna talk and they're gonna say, hey, this band right here threw down, but there wasn't nobody there. So you always want to put out all these bands, all of them, all the musicals in the Midwest, not just the musicals and the ladies that they're jamming, all of them. They put on a show, and sometimes it goes on week in, week out. And just my thing is keep doing what you guys are doing. I always see what you guys are doing, and I support. And you know, hey, much love to everybody.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to close this show with saying thank you to Tommy. You did a wonderful job, Grupo Ilusion. I've been trying to
Thank
get
you.
Tommy on the show for a number of years. That this is my fourth year, and it took you 4 years to get on my show, right?
I
But I
was too
want to,
busy eating tacos.
yeah, yeah, my patitos. I want to mention though that I really am looking forward to seeing Matt Maya come
Yes.
out and play with Elida because it's one of a Michigan's sons. He is closing out the show here where he says Tomas Salazar and Larry Rodarte. Looking forward to catching up with y'all and the rest of my Michigan family in 2 weeks.
Right
So
on. We'll see you shortly, brother.
yeah, we'll see you. So everybody, again, thank you so much. Next week, Elida Reina from Elida Reina and Ivante on Mi Gente on Air. Tune in. It's going to be a great show. And just, I love Elida. I always have for many, many years since Luna Llena. And I forgot, Tommy, you were supposed to sing. You were supposed to sing on the show. So give us a little sample of what we have in store for.
Come on, Larry. I have a sore
Put me on
throat.
the spot.
What?
No accordion, a cappella.
I have my accordion. How about I play a little accordion?
Okay, go ahead.
Because I honestly I do have a little sore throat. That's why I'm drinking my
Oh
tea.
man.
I'll get the accordion. Hang on, hang on.
All right, we're gonna be waiting for Tomas Salazar. He's gonna grab his accordion and give us a little sample of what we're gonna be able to hear for Cinco de Mayo in 2 weeks. I can't believe it's 2 weeks till Cinco de Mayo. How do you feel about that, Matthew Lester?
I mean, hey, I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah, you got to be there with us, okay?
I got you. I
Don't
got
don't
you.
make no plans on May the 4th. It's Saturday, Cinco de Mayo at the Jolt Credit Union Event Park, and the parade beforehand.
I mean, hey, am I allowed to make plans with my friends and like, have
Yeah.
all them come along
Yeah,
too?
and if they like Mexican food, it's like the mecca of Mexican food that day.
Oh yeah, a lot of my friends are from the Latino culture and all that, so
All
I
right, all
can
right,
almost guarantee you a lot of them are going to be there.
all right. Well, here is Tommy Salazar, Tomas Salazar. I call him Tommy on the accordion.
All right. Just a little bit of something.
All right. He was supposed to sing on the show. We totally forgot about it because we were talking
That's
so
all
much.
right. We'll save that for the party. But honestly, I am a little raspy from screaming, at my kids, the ones I loved so much.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you again, Tommy, for being with us all the way out from Pontiac, Michigan. And we'll see you in 2 weeks at the grand performance, and then after at the Jolt Credit Union Event Park. And then following that, we have the after party at the Volt Credit Union, the Volt Entertainment venue. And Tommy is going to be performing with Grupo Ilusión, as well as Elida Reina y Avante. They're opening up for that band, and I can't wait to see everybody out there just enjoying life, having a good time, and enjoying and celebrating their culture and heritage of Cinco de Mayo. So adios, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being with us.